Well, first up, we have some major developments coming in from Gaza, where at least 100 people have been killed while waiting for aid in the western part of Gaza. Palestinian officials have accused Israel of opening fire on civilians, while the IDF says the crowd posed a threat to the troops positioned nearby. Some 700 people have been injured in the incident that Gaza officials have called an attack in cold blood. The Israeli army claimed it is still looking into the reports on the incident, but added that violence erupted near the aid trucks that were allegedly looted by a mob of Palestinians. The threat of hunger is looming large over the region, where Gaza's health ministry claims children are dying due to malnutrition, dehydration and famine. The officials have called for an immediate action to be taken from the international organizations to prevent more deaths. The head of the United States Agency for International Development has said Israel needs to open more crossings to allow vital aid needed to reach Gazans. And according to United Nations, trucks loaded with aid have been stopped at the Rafah border, where 1 in 6 children under 2 are now suffering from malnutrition. The volume of aid entering Gaza has fallen by half in comparison to January, and a quarter of the population is just a step away from famine.
This is called a key for the world, but for us, we call it a dream of every person. The dream of building a house after fatigue, suffering and starvation.
However, Israel denies blocking aid to the besieged region. Foreign countries, including Jordan and Egypt, are airdropping aid in Gaza. United States is also considering providing aid to the Strip.
Today we are living in famine. We have exhausted everything. There's nothing left to eat. We used to eat a plant called mallow. It no longer exists. There used to be carrot, and that is gone. There is nothing left in the markets. So we resorted to the last option, the cactus. We eat cactus, even with its thorns.
And back in Israel, pressure is building on Prime Minister Netanyahu to bring back hostages. A group of over 150 Israelis began a 4-day march from Reem to Jerusalem under the title United for the Release of Hostages. Israelis are calling for the release of 134 Israelis held in Gaza. More than 130 hostages are still in Hamas captivity. Along with Arab leaders, Western powers are negotiating the release of hostages and also a ceasefire in Gaza before or during Ramadan. 2 days ago, the US President Joe Biden said he is hoping for a truce to be implemented by next Monday. However, Hamas has called his remarks premature. The militant group has reportedly warned that the latest attack could derail the ceasefire talks. Now, on Israel's northern front, skirmishes have continued. The IDF claims hitting Hezbollah targets in southern Lebanon. The IDF says it shelled rocket launching sites after attacks on the northern Israeli communities of Adamit and Shalomi. Reports say the United States is concerned that Israel is planning a ground offensive against Hezbollah in Lebanon in the coming months as well. And well, for the very latest on the situation in Gaza, where we believe over 100 people have now been killed who were waiting for aid, we're now being joined by Mohammed Najib, a journalist and a war correspondent, as well as a security analyst from Ramallah, which is a Palestinian city in central West Bank. Mohammed Najib, thanks very much indeed for joining us this evening. Can you throw some more light on what the situation is? This really is a dire situation from what we are being told from world bodies, including the UN, and now we believe over 100 people have died in that attack.
Yes, actually, the situation are catastrophic, as the people in Gaza are suffering of starvation since the eruption of the war against Gaza, especially in the northern Gaza Strip, where since the 23rd of January, the Israelis don't allow the medical and humanitarian aid and food aid supply convoys to arrive to northern Gaza to feed those people. And when they opened the fire the dawn of today, they killed, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health, 104 Palestinians and injured another 760. And that's a catastrophic situation because the people were waiting for the trucks of food to eat and to feed their sons who didn't have except the plants and nothing to eat during the past weeks. So it is catastrophic. And some convoys were coordinated with, through the United Nations with the Israeli authorities to reach northern Gaza, but it is unknown why the Israeli opened fire heavily and intensively toward the people who were waiting for the food aids convoys, trucks that will be arrived to that area.
Right. Right. And Mohammed Najib, now, as we speak, several rounds of negotiations have taken place between the Hamas and the Netanyahu government, steered by countries like Egypt, Qatar and the US. Why do you think there seems to be absolutely no consensus even on things like aid? What more do the people of Gaza expect from world bodies like the UN and countries like the US for aid to actually start trickling in? The UN says that right now a quarter of the people in Gaza are facing a famine.
Yes, the people of Gaza think that Israel uses starvation as a method to weaken the people there and to punish the people of Gaza, and who are not necessarily Hamas or supports Hamas or affiliated with Hamas. There are 2.3 million Palestinians living in the Gaza Strip, and they need at least 500 trucks loaded of food every day, food supplies and medical supplies, but Israel doesn't allow sometimes 4 to 9 trucks allowed to enter to Gaza, and some days they don't allow it. So that's a problem and catastrophic. And this is why King Abdullah II of Jordan dropped food supplies from the sky recently, last week. So the situation are catastrophic, and the people want a ceasefire first and to end this the sufferance of the people of the Mediterranean, of the civilians, and also they're calling on the United Nations and on the World Food Program to allow the entry, to pressure the Israeli government to allow the entry. Even the United States said it is a slow process, and consider to drop from the sky, aerial dropping of food supplies to the people of Gaza, because everyone knows about the unprecedented sufferance and starvation that the people of Gaza lives. So it is a catastrophic situation.
Right, Mohammed Najib, thanks very much indeed for joining us with the very latest there. As you're pointing out, over 500 trucks of aid needed on a daily basis, but only some 5 to 9 trucks are coming in. Some countries, of course, airdropping aid, but it's obviously not enough. The Americans also now thinking of airdropping aid. Thanks very much indeed for joining us with the very latest there. Of over 100 people now, we're being told, who have been killed waiting for aid in Gaza.
Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.